be a little whiny bitch, but woo! It was hot.
Well, apparently you guys had to call in the wolf, to get the job done. RB's off on vacation somewhere, so here I am.
I mean, when Chase wins in Daytona, I guess maybe they go party in Florida.
I guess, yeah, he's still in Florida.
Yeah.
Well, there's other reasons to be there too.
I mean, I'm not here to pry. I don't. He's not here to defend himself, so I mean, we can say whatever we want to do right now.
But Chase did win. So is he a bona fide road course guy now? Like,
I think he is.
I talked to him yesterday, and by talk I mean interviewed. Like, I wasn't calling. Chase.
Hey Chase, how you doing? Congrats on the win.
Yesterday.
What'd you have for lunch?
Not that we aren't friends, but I had to interview Chase yesterday for MRN, and I was asking him. He did say, if you think about it, he's like, yes, I mean, obviously I have a good record on road courses, but if you remember, Jeff Gordon was really good on road courses.
Yeah.
And he basically has Jeff's old team in a sense. Like, he's got Alan, he's got like a lot of the engineers and stuff. And so they're just really good at setting up road course cars, in addition to, like, obviously he's got some skill, but he did liken the fact that he's got a team behind him that's used to setting up really good road course cars.
What was it? Jeff Gordon won 4 in a row on the road courses, I think.
Yeah, right?
Something like that.
Yeah. And I'm pulling this off of Strickland and I were talking about it. Producer Matt Strickland and I were talking about it the other day. And just the fact that if Chase wins at the Roval in the fall, he's tied, like you said, his old car, his old team's stats. So he and Martin Truex Jr., I would say, and then you throw Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch in there. Really, it's Chase and Gibbs. It's Chase and Gibbs that are right now the best at the road course racing.
That was cool of the Chase, though, to be like kind of tip the hat to those guys. I mean, like, you got to be good. Like, you're not just good at road courses. You know what I mean? Like, he's not AJ or Marcus Ambrose, so he had to work at that. So he deserves some credit in that too. But to tip the cap to those guys that put the car together, that's pretty chill. I like that.
Jeff has 9 total road course wins, 5 at Sonoma, 4 at Watkins Glen. So
Tony must be the next closest, right? I would imagine.
Yeah, Tony Stewart, he's got 7 road course wins.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Then Richard Petty. So, boom, boom, boom.
It is a feat that he did it without practice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, what was y'all's take on the road course at Daytona? I mean, I know a lot of the drivers said that they had a lot more fun there than at the Roval, but I feel like the Roval has been more entertaining to watch on TV. So what was your take on the Daytona road course?
Well, some drivers did have what I would consider like semi-experience, like the drivers that have done the Rolex. Granted, the course wasn't identical, and there was like an extra chicane and then part of the track.
Yeah.
So it's not like identical, but probably helps.
And the car's different.
Chase had never run that.
Yeah.
But he did, Boris said, and Jordan Taylor helped him out. I think it was a little more tame because some of the drivers had already done like what I would consider like a partial course of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked that the Xfinity was a little more mayhem.
I got to be honest. That was I think that was the best race. I mean, to watch, I thought the Cup guys were going to get after it a little bit more than they did. They were chill. Like, I was hoping a little bit more Watkins Glen with a little bit more carnage, I thought would happen. But I think it's weird, right? Because you get the bigger track and it really showed up too. Like, Charlotte's obviously way shorter and it seemed like they were just together more. Whereas it don't look like a Rolex race. I mean, they just so, which it was still cool, I thought. I mean, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed all of it.
Yeah. Nice to mix it up. And at least they didn't do like another oval somewhere. Like, we lost Watkins Glen, so at least they tried to do some sort of like road course-esque. I do love Watkins Glen.
And they announced it after we recorded last week, but the trophy was the Watkins Glen trophy. So
Yeah.
we were wondering what the trophy was going to be, if it was going to be like a giant Rolex or, do something. I did find it interesting as the races went. So like ARCA on Friday, then Xfinity, then trucks, like you had this sort of, each race was a little bit better. And I know that's kind of how the series go.
Yeah.
Right.
But
They
it
also
was,
get to watch though. Like
that's the other thing.
Watch 3 different races.
Every single Cup driver was watching every single one of those races and then talking to those drivers probably.
Yeah.
And then you watch the drivers at the beginning of, when they're getting ready to get in the cars, they're all talking like, all right, Denny's saying, I'm going to go in here and do this. So maybe we lay back. They're all talking to each other before they start the race. They prove that they are the best in the business.
Yeah. I mean,
They're professional drivers. Professional race car drivers actually good at racing?
Shocker.
The best drivers in the world.
When it's also like when you tell somebody, like you said, Blaney, you're not going to be able to do this. You guys are going to wreck going into turn 1. Then they're all like, well, I'm going to prove you wrong.
Yeah.
Tell me I can't do something, then I'm going to go do it.
Yeah. I'd like to see if you take that chicane out off of 4, like just let them
Hammer down.
Let them go.
Yeah.
Send it. Like if we do this again, full send. That would be, because people will mess up on that.
Well, the other thing that I think would be a good addition, which I think they have kind of tipped their hand that this might happen, ARCA was at night. The Xfinity race went into dusk and into night a little bit. Maybe was the Clash that's going to be run on the road course next year?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe this run at night, and you get that added element of a nighttime Cup race on a road course.
I'll be curious to see how they qualify drivers for the Clash, since we don't really have qualifying this year.
I mean, you still got pole winners.
Yeah.
Emerald has still got the award in Texas.
That is true.
Yeah.
Also, how about the beef between AJ Allmendinger and Justin Allgaier post-race?
So I had AJ on the next day on the Racing Fan Zone on my show. And he was just like, man, he should be mad at me. Like, I apologize. And that was, like, I feel bad for Justin, man. He has been getting abused all year, like with Luck and just other drivers. And I think he's just had enough. I think he's just over it. It's like, I hate everybody.
Yeah. I get it.
It was good to see. I mean, I like to see that fire. The only thing, and I saw Jonathan Merriman tweet this, and I do agree with him. Justin, take off your helmet. And I get we're in the COVID time, so it was maybe he was thinking, I'm wearing my helmet because it's like a mask, and I'm within this. But in normal non-COVID times, you get over there. AJ took his helmet off, set it off, and he starts talking to him. And Justin's still wearing the helmet. It's like,
and walked away, right? With the helmet still on?
But again, I will give him the benefit of the doubt now, since we're in a pandemic and we're requiring people to wear masks, that he was keeping his facial protection on.
And he has a little girl, so I get that.
Like we're doing a good job with this, right? I was watching the NBA last night. The playoffs started. Like the players don't wear masks. The refs wear masks. The coaches wear masks. But the players don't. And then they got into it. Or the refs don't even wear masks. Then they got into it last night. And I'm like, it put my brain in a blender. Like I'm confused.
Well, with the NBA, they are in a complete bubble.
That's true.
So they are isolated completely, and there's different layers of it. So the reporters are in a different level to where they can't get to the players. So you see reporters wearing masks if they're closer to the court, and then interviews, they go over to a screen and they're talking to the reporter that's on a screen. So they're doing a Skype interview. So they are more isolated. The baseball guys, when they're kind of getting into it, that's the one where I'm like, all right, you guys are going home at night and some of you are going out. And there was a player the other day that said that he would not play because 2 guys broke their protocol. And went out and did stuff. So, baseball's iffy.
I'm just happy where we're at. Where it's we're doing a whole deal.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes. pretty normal. So speaking of, did you guys? What about Daryl and Bubba and Bowman and Logano there at the end? Like, ooh.
There was a lot that happened at the end that you didn't really get to follow up on because NBC had to get out of their window.
Yeah.
And there was a lot that happened. Like Logano, was it like, all right, so you got Bubba, then you got Bowman, then you got Logano. Mm-hmm. And Logano hits Bowman that hits Bubba, and Bubba goes around it like, hey.
You know that Freddie and TJ they do that door bumper clear deal. So their recording was pretty. I mean, they did not see it the same way. And TJ's like, you want me to show you the data? You want me to show you the data?" And Freddie's like, "Bro, I see pictures right here." Like, dude, it was phenomenal. It was so funny. They didn't see it the same way.
I mean, close. Are you are spotters and drivers ever going to see it the same way?
Joey was 2 cars behind Daryl, right? So it wasn't like he put the bumper on Daryl. He kind of got the bumper on the 88.
Well, it's like when you get rear-ended and it's like a chain reaction of traffic, like bam, bam, bam.
You know, in North Carolina that you have to pay for everybody. If you're the last car to the accident, like in ARCA, you got to pay for everybody's. It's your insurance. Like if you're the last car, it's your insurance that's paying for everybody.
Oh, crap.
So make sure that if you do that, you feel that thing in reverse and get one more before, so it looks like it's the other.
So it looks like.
Or just be aware of your surroundings and avoid rear-ending people. Don't follow too close on North Carolina highways. I'm just saying. We can watch racing, but we don't have to race on the interstates.
With your mustache and that, I can't.
I can't.
And this is Highway Safety with Uncle Chuck.
Chuckle.
Yeah. No, my mom always blames people that tailgate on the highway from watching too much racing.
Really?
It's those people that it's the people watching NASCAR and they just follow too close because they think they're out there on the speedway and they're not. They're not.
Jordan.
Yeah. My mom doesn't have that big of an accent, but for this purpose, it works. Yeah. You got to embellish a little bit.
I feel like we get blamed for a lot of stuff that we don't really like. It's not,
Yeah.
Like it's not the NASCAR. I don't know. Sometimes we deserve it. Sometimes not. I don't know. I'm gonna leave that one.
It's 50-50. Sometimes it's like, yeah, we deserve this one, and then quit changing the rules, NASCAR. It's like NASCAR's always changed the rules. Like,
always. Don't have other sports though. People forget that.
Well, there's a great story, and one of our producers, Aurora, who was helping us out with the show, had an idea for a great video about talking about rule changes in NASCAR. And one of the stories that we talked about was Bill France changed the rules in Victory Lane that said that you had to wear a shirt in Victory Lane. Because some guy won a race, showed up without a shirt on, and Bill France says in the rules you got to have your shirt in Victory Lane. The guy said, doesn't say anything about it in the rules. Bill France, let me see the rules. Wrote must wear shirt in Victory Lane. Handed the rules back, says it in the rules.
Is that like no shirt, no shoes, no service?
Yeah.
The thing is, like, they were in Florida. People shirtless in Florida.
I don't know where that race was. It might have been in, Kansas. Could have been a short track somewhere else. I don't know.
It's probably Florida because
probably
because it's Florida.
Yeah.
It's Florida.
I learned that one from Ken Martin, who is our resident historian in the NASCAR building, and he would know exactly where that race was, what day it was, what the weather was like, and possibly what the shirt was that the guy went and got that he brought to Victory Lane.
If I could change one rule like that, I'd be like, must shotgun beer after victory.
Yes.
Like, you have to. And then I want to see who's good and who's bad. Like, Tom Brady can chug a beer really well, and Aaron Rodgers sucks.
True.
I think that'd be cool. I think Custer has a little bit of a head start.
I think he does too.
He does too at the same time.
Well, he's not really shotgunning though. He's just doing the
Stone
Cold. Yeah. I mean, maybe it's you don't necessarily have to shotgun the beer, but you are given this beer if you're 21, and you have to figure out the most creative way to consume the beer. Because Harvick will just sit there and chug his, Busch Light.
True.
Yeah.
Although, didn't Budweiser come out with a non-alcoholic recently? Budweiser 50 or something? Which you shouldn't because you should be 21, but that still is
Here you go, little Timmy. You want to try this?
Still probably is not a good look, even if it's non-alcoholic, to have somebody under 21 drinking a non-alcoholic beer, I guess.
I mean, I will go on record and say that we need to lower the drinking age to 5. It's like what? Isle of Man, I think, has it. The drinking age is at 5 with an adult.
Oh, with an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah, you take away the mystique of it, people probably make better decisions.
Yeah, 18-year-olds that go to college for the first time and just show their ass by getting drunk.
Yeah.
And then going to the hospital. Got to be smart about it.
What, 16 or 18?
Yeah. I will say I have some friends from Europe that they're the same age as kids that are in college here, right? But when it comes to partying, they don't do it the same because they've been doing it since they were 14. So it's kind of they're I'm here more for school and stuff done. So,
I mean,
I would agree.
I may or may not have, snuck some peach schnapps in middle school. Started drinking that, It was
Kahlua.
good.
Yeah, it might have been Edward 40 Hands once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you do things, you live and you learn. And don't do that at home to the kids that are listening to this show. Respect your parents, listen to what they say, and don't steal their alcohol and replace it with water because they know. Your parents know. Your parents are smart.
Also, if you replace liquor with water to try and fill the bottle, don't put it in the freezer. Because it will freeze and then we'll give you away.
Are we teaching them what to do or what not to do? I'm confused at where this crossover just happened right
What
there.
not to do.
Also, beer's gross. I don't even really like beer. I remember my dad let me try beer when I was really young because I was I'd asked him and I was like, this is disgusting.
It's not good.
See, my dad did that and he also said, here, try this scotch. I thought scotch was terrible. Now, I love scotch. And I love beer. I love both of them. Hated them for a long time. And then I was like, actually, no, this is pretty good. So
Pretty tasty.
My dad gave me Old Duels for the first beer because he doesn't drink. And I thought it was cool because he did it, but this stuff tastes terrible. But yeah, this is cool. Yeah, Dad.
My sister and I talked my dad into buying us Red Stripe one time because of the commercials. The commercials got us. It was Red Stripe, hooray, beer. We're like, oh, we want to try that. It was terrible. Now it's not so bad. I'll drink it now.
If you're going to choose a beverage that's a vice, children, why don't you start with coffee?
My grandmother used to give us Coca-Cola and coffee cups to train us to drink caffeine in the mornings. She'd have her coffee, we'd drink Coca-Cola, and now
not even the caffeine that I love. Man. I just love I love the taste of coffee. There's a fly in mine.
So maybe
you should eat that.
So maybe all of this stuff was training us to be addicted to these things later in life. Are we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the deep dive episode where we go into psychoanalysis. Yeah.
How problem children have started.
Candy cigarettes.
Yeah. Well,
I used to love those.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I can't stand smoking. I've never liked cigarette smoke, even when I was little, because I'm dating myself. But back in the day, kids, you used to be able to smoke inside restaurants. But I would sit there if we were close to the smoking section.
You still can in Tennessee.
Put my fingers up my nose. There's photos of me really little because I could not stand cigarette smoke. But for some reason, really liked candy cigarettes.
Well, they're candy, so.
But getting to pretend you were smoking, even though I hated smoke.
Well, everyone did it on TV, so that's what
True.
is the thing. You put your fingers in your nose like this.
When I was little, I don't know why I did that. There's photos of me like this. And I gotta go wash my hands. I'll do it after the podcast.
Yeah. I always liked the candy cigarettes that had the little bit of the powder in them.
Yeah,
So like when you,
it was like you were actually
it was bubble gum. It was bubble gum,
but it was like powdered, like it wasn't powdered sugar. I don't know what it was that made it like.
It's like the chewing gum powder, like on just a regular thing of like Wrigley's. There's that little bit of white powder that's on there.
If you think about it, Big League Chew is bib.
Shaw.
It's
so good.
It is. It's great, but it's a pouch of Red Man.
I know, but it's awesome. It tastes so good. And then you eat it right before the flavor goes away. You just swallow it.
It's Levi Garrett, you know.
Yeah.
It's
at least you felt like a big
if
leaguer.
you really think about what that is, like you're promoting dipping, essentially, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe back in the day we may have been being conditioned into things that our generation has done. So
true.
It's just part of it, you just try and they're just trying to sell a product. That's what,
Conditioning comes straight from the devil. He's just really working his ways.
I mean, it happens, but there's also the generational thing of, and this is old man Chuck with my mustache. Back in the day, we used to ride in the back of a station wagon and didn't have seatbelts. So like, it was a different time.
It wasn't that long ago.
Fast and loose. We were playing fast and loose with stuff.
You're really not that old, Chuck.
I know. I'm just trying to rationalize it and justify it, okay?
It was like 200 years ago, bro. This is like 30 years ago, 20 years ago.
Yeah, I know. But it's like when you look at that old footage, when you look at footage from the 80s and 90s, and even like the early 2000s now, it just looks so old.
Well, early 2000s, somebody was showing me a video the other day from like, I think it was actually a movie trailer, maybe, I don't know, or an interview from 2006. So not that long, 14 years is a long time when you really think about it. It still feels like it's 2009. Anyway, but I was like, it looked old.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think 2006 was that long ago.
How long ago was Nickelback?
Not long enough.
Well, I had to do actual homework before I joined this episode. And the second thing on the list behind the earthquake of 2020, which I was sitting on the toilet when that happened. I did one of these. I swear to God, I was like, that was strange.
95 was when Nickelback came out.
Okay. Well, did you guys hate that? Did you hate the cover, the Devil Went Down Georgia cover?
I want to stick a pin in that because I want to go back to you rocking on the toilet in the earthquake. I want to finish that thought. I interrupted you.
Through and trying to let it go.
Did you think for a second maybe you, I don't know, had some stomach problems you didn't realize?
No, it was like, because our apartment, me and RB's apartment is on the third floor, right? So it's not that high. But what happened is I doing my business, morning, and I do one of these. And I was like, it felt like I was on a ship, on a boat. And I was like, damn, my roommate or my neighbors are really doing some weird stuff. That was strange. Right after it, all my group texts went off and they're like, did you guys feel that? And I was like, oh shit, that was real. That was not my building. That was real, which I've never been in. I've never felt an earthquake before. So, it killed some people's houses.
I was in Michigan. I missed it. I was
So in Sparta, North Carolina, there was some pretty good damage. Like roads were,
roads and
it was
grocery stores, all the shelves.
It was the biggest earthquake in over 100 years in North Carolina. But North Carolina gets earthquakes pretty much all the time. Like we get them all the time. I remember
they're small.
I remember at Western sitting in our living room in our house, and like we all thought somebody had like just jumped off of a bed or like stomped on the ground. And then we realized that the house was still like just for solid like 10, 15 seconds, the house just like shook. There's just a little vibration.
We started the week off with a hurricane though, that week, and ended with an earthquake.
2020 coming in strong.
I mean, I love North Carolina.
Yeah.
It just gives you everything.
Well, the thing is, like where there's mountains, there's fault lines. And,
Yeah.
you know, like those are going to happen. And like the people that were freaking out, I was like, oh my God, it's an earthquake. Like, calm down. Like if you look at the historical record, it happens about once 100 years, you know, kind of like a pandemic happens about every once 100 years. So we're due.
Every 4, it seems like.
You know, but like big level pandemics,
Okay.
like shut everything down pandemics.
Off the Richter scale. I like what you did there. Nice.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
A little sprinkle that in there.
Kimmy's good with the wordplay.
Sprinkle it in.
Yeah. But no, and then Nickelback is the, you know, next coming sign of the apocalypse I hated that song. I hated it. It was terrible.
My thing is the song didn't match the video, and the video felt very much like late 90s, early 2000s, like trying to be Gorillaz. It reminded me of like some of the Gorillaz videos. I was like, what?
If you haven't watched it, go on YouTube to all the glass holes out there and look up Nickelback's cover of Devil Went Down to Georgia. It's sacrilege.
Why did we didn't need that? It wasn't. I hated it.
The thing that I hated is they changed fiddle to guitar.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because I'm a Charlie Daniels purist and, you know, Charlie Daniels just passed away and this feels like they're pissing on his grave a little bit. Like he was a hell of a fiddle player. So maybe their Canadian mindset was, let's change it to.
Dude, what do you got going on?
Someone just came and knocked on my door. Hang on one second. Let's stick a pause in this real quick.
You gonna take that?
Door?
It could be my deck. Hang on.
Your deck.
Are we live still? Or we paused? I'm confused.
I mean, we're still recording, so we can still talk.
Well, I just love that this is happening right now.
I also love that Chuck's in shorts. I'm in shorts, which is funny because I wasn't like really thinking what would Chuck be wearing, but he's in shorts.
I'm in scrubs, so.
I had taken the dog for a walk, so I'm in like athletic shorts.
How's the pup doing?
He's good. He's I gave him a bully stick to chew during this. He's a little depressed. I was dog sitting a German Shepherd for like 3.5 weeks. Ooh. Zoe, she's super sweet. She was such a good dog. And so he had a dog around for 3.5 weeks.
Yeah.
She left on Sunday, and when she left, he sat by the door that they left from for 4 hours.
Heartbroken.
And then yesterday, just laid around the house the entire day, like didn't bark at all, didn't do anything. Usually he'll follow me around, so I think he's a little sad.
They say it's easier to have 2 dogs.
Yeah,
than one,
for sure. Like dogs are they're pack animals, so I think he's a little sad. So I'm trying to distract him with WALKs and TREATs and all the things.
I don't know what any of those are, but it sounds like a good idea.
Gotta spell them out. The dog knows what you're talking about. Walks and treats.
I
was just telling Dylan that he was asking how the pup was, and I said I had been watching a German Shepherd for like almost a month, and she's gone, and he's a little depressed now.
Oh, that's sad. The guy, there was nobody at my door. Like, they left. Like, you ring the door and you don't stick around. Like,
ring and ditch?
Yeah, what are you selling there, bud?
I wish you would have lit a bag and you had to step on it and it was poop. That would have been awesome.
Well, like, the guy had, like, a piece of paper in his hand. I don't know. I thought it might have been them delivering, like, they're supposed to be delivering the supplies for my deck today.
It was code enforcement? Deck. How is that deck coming?
We moved the air conditioning unit last week. Okay. So it's over to the side of the house. The supplies are coming for the actual porch itself. So hopefully by the end of the week, we'll have one.
Oh, nice.
And then later on, I've got to get overhead line buried underneath so I can put a roof over the deck and a fan and some lights.
Yeah, I want to do that. I want like a screened in. Are you helping with this?
A little bit, yeah.
See, that's what I wish there were more, because I have more free time because of COVID. I wish there were contractors or subcontractors that you could hire, but they would also
teach you,
let you help. So like you hire them, and maybe like you even like get a little bit of a discount because you're labor, but they essentially like teach you. And I don't know that that's a thing, but it should be, because like I want to put a deck or like a screened in porch, but I also like want to learn like some of that stuff. So like you hire somebody, they build it, but they like train you or like teach you while they're building it, and you get to be labor as well.
Yeah. I learned a little bit of like, I kind of know how to put a screen porch in. Like I understand some of the stuff, but like setting a footer for a deck and like doing a lot of the like measuring and the math, it's like,
it doesn't even have to be like thorough. Like it's not like I want to be able to go build a deck completely myself after. It's more like I'm bored. I like manual labor.
Tell me where to help out.
Like, so at least tell me to like, let me be a labor hand. And even if it's just like telling you what to do. So like, all right, nail this, do that. Like,
there is also something to be said though for just sitting back with a cup of coffee and watching the work get done.
True.
You mean in like all those commercials where they're teaching you how not to be like your parents?
Yeah.
Where you're like up in them. You get that wrench? Yeah, that 9/16. That's a good wrench. That's the one I lies under there and try to do the plumbing. It's like, dude, go away.
Oh, here's your problem right here. Yeah, you're gonna need to get a new. We are all doomed to become our parents. It is just part of life. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah. I get this healthy mix because I'm adopted, so I get like some of my mother, you know what I mean, and then my parents that raised me. So I get like this like crazy
hybrid.
Yeah, it's cool.
So I had a thought and then I lost it.
Yeah,
I literally had this like.
Say something, Chuck. I was waiting, talk over you, and then you didn't say anything.
I'm sorry, I completely froze. You ever have that where you're like thinking, and then like. I had like an itch on my leg and I was like, that distracted me. And I was like, I completely forgot what I was going to say.
You know what they call that?
Old age? Dementia?
Yes.
I have. So on my calendar, there's a standing appointment with Matt Roper, who's one of my old bosses, to check to see if it's time to put me down. Because like... I forgot things. I was like, man, I feel like I'm getting like early onset Alzheimer's or something. It's like my mind's just not. Yeah. So we were like,
and then immediately, like 30 seconds later, I'm like, what was I just about to do?
Yep.
Yeah.
I just had
like
that
20 minutes. Yeah.
You just saw it happen with me. So
yeah.
I thought the screen froze. Honestly, you're like.
That's what I was like, what is happening here? Like Chuck looked like he was going to say something. I don't want to talk over him.
It was too. So what I was going to say is there's like the inherent traits that you have. And then there's the learned traits that like, those are some of the ones like the little idiosyncrasies that you have. But then like, there's like my voice sounds like my dad. Like I don't learn that. Like that's just something that.
Or like mannerisms.
Yeah.
There's also though the like, in terms of, you can't really help mannerisms, but then there's some kids who are like, I don't want to be like my parents. So they like go way.
But then have you ever seen like the couples that are together so long that they start to look like each other?
Yes.
Or the dogs that look like their owners?
Dressed alike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your dog, your dog always kind of ends up looking like you somehow. I don't know why.
That's true.
But like Sturgill and Ryan, I look at that and I'm like, yeah, that's.
Yeah.
But Daryl, Bubba, and his new puppy, I'm like, I don't see it yet, but I'm sure it'll grow into.
Let's say, how big is that dog going to get?
It's not that. I don't think it's going to be that big.
It's going to be small.
The pocketbook.
I don't think that big because I think it's like a mix of a poodle and a mini Aussie.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
The other thing that I looked at that got me distracted was I also remembered what I was talking about before the doorbell rang. How much Nickelback sucks. Sorry. And I just had to finish that thought that Nickelback completely ruined a song that I love.
Well,
which is.
This is probably going to offend some people. I don't know that I love that song to begin with. The Devil Went Down to Georgia. So like.
It's a good entry song into some of the Charlie Daniels stuff. But like if you get into his deeper stuff like, was it Trudy? That's a great one. Call up Trudy on the telephone, send a letter in the mail.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good Charlie Daniels songs that I want to sing right now.
It's great, but I just don't know that I love that song to begin with. So like, probably not going to like a cover of it.
But I'm just saying, if Photograph started right now, you would sing it.
I won't disagree.
Maybe.
Yeah, like everyone wants to hate Nickelback, but you're like,
Honestly, though, hey, Nickelback, before they, whatever you want to call it, sold out or started making these like photograph songs, has some like legitimate harder stuff. Like when they first started, like that people probably, if you heard it, you wouldn't think it's Nickelback.
I don't know.
I'm not defending Nickelback. I hate Nickelback. I'm just saying.
But we love their songs. We hate them, but we love their songs.
I don't know. I love it. I know the words.
Front to back.
Not front to back.
It's one of those things, like, for me, I am not going to go to a Nickelback concert.
No.
I am not going to actively listen to Nickelback.
I'm not going to pay for their stuff.
But if you enjoy Nickelback, if you like listening to Nickelback and it gives you joy, then go listen to all the Nickelback because it brings you joy. It doesn't bring me, it brings me anger, so therefore I can't listen to it. Sorry, what were you saying, Kim?
But if you're going to listen to it, plug headphones in so we don't have
Yes, yes. And I mean, I'll try not to push my exquisite musical tastes on you if you have subpar musical tastes and listen to Nickelback. But if they bring you joy, and clearly they do because they sell a lot of records.
I like a lot of different music. What have I been listening? Lately, I've been listening to a lot of Shaky Graves. Do you listen to Shaky Graves? You like them, Chuck, if you don't.
I do. I listen to them, yes.
Some sprinkling in some Rainbow Kitten Surprise. Do you ever listen to Rainbow Kitten Surprise?
I have. They were in Charlotte, not... I love that face. It's like...
What?
Rainbow Kitten Surprise.
Sounds like an ice cream.
It does.
Give it a Google. It's there.
His voice, though, the main guy in that, good.
Yeah.
All right.
So, listeners, Glassholes, if you have not listened to Shaky Graves or Rainbow Kitten Surprise, give it a gander. I am firmly rooted in the fact that they are good bands and you will enjoy them.
I think it is the deck.
What?
Hang on. I hear a truck. There's now a truck backing up.
Deck being delivered?
Yeah, I think so. Whoa, that was loud.
Who's that guy? Is it from Parks and Rec, or it is from Parks and Rec? That's who he looks like, right?
Nick Offerman.
I knew it. I was like, I could feel it.
Only because of the mustache.
Yeah, but he kind of. I mean, yes.
Yeah, like kind of.
He's the same build. Like if he put on a beige, suit, he.
We're talking about Nick Offerman.
Ah, yes. Listen,
your mustache gives you like a Nick Offerman vibe.
he's a little bit more. I don't quite have his love of woodworking.
Ah, yes.
He is a master woodworker. Although I do enjoy his comedy. He is a funny man.
You have a jolly face. You know, he's like serious.
Yeah.
I may or may not have been called young Santa Claus in college.
Yeah, you do have a very happy face.
With the beard, and I was probably like 30, 40, maybe 50 pounds heavier in college.
Like, the shape of your eyes is like permanent smizing. So like people that
I've got fat eyes, Kim.
No, not fat.
They're squinty.
Like,
they're like
smiling. Like your eyes are very like welcoming.
You know, if you have a mascot,
you have welcoming eyes.
Or like maybe like non-threatening.
That's good. No, that is. I have non-threatening eyes. I will take that.
Non-threatening eyes.
I will take that any day of the week, because you don't want, like, especially if you go out on a date with someone, you're like, oh, he's got threatening eyes. I'm just gonna. Yeah. So I'll take that. I will take that. Yeah, because I don't like my eyes. I'm not a fan of my eyes because I feel like they get too I squint too much.
Oh.
Yeah. It's also because I'm not wearing my glasses, so I can't see, and I'm like,
what's happening?
I can't read. I don't know. Was smizing?
I was wondering. This is totally random, and I don't know why I thought of it. Maybe I really don't know, but my mind wanders. What's going to happen to Halloween this year?
We're doing it? What do you mean? What do you mean what's going to happen to it?
I'm just saying, like, for young kids, like, getting candy from strangers during COVID, I don't think it's probably kosher.
Well, for them.
Yeah.
However, this is going to be, like, the epic, like, Halloween is epic all the time, but this is an extra epic Halloween because the time changes, so you get an extra hour, and it's a full moon, and it's on a Saturday. So I feel like if Halloween's canceled, people are going to lose their minds.
Yeah.
I mean,
we didn't cancel 4th of July.
Yeah. And people still did it. People are still going to Halloween.
I don't know if the kids part, I'm not.
That's what I'm wondering. Like the kids part, like going trick or treating. I don't know that's like, let's knock on people's doors and get handouts from.
Well, I guess you do. I mean, what I always did at my house was when I lived in the neighborhood, I would just leave a bowl out. So I guess it's kind of grab at your own risk.
Yeah, I guess.
Want it.
Anyway, just a question I had recently.
That's a good question.
Are you guys gonna come to the Halloween shindig? This Halloween?
Yeah.
All depends on where we are in the pandemic state.
Gotta see where the pandemic situation is.
I mean, ideally, Halloween is a perfect holiday for it because everybody can wear a mask.
Masks.
Let's go, baby.
Once in a while, you say something very smart, Chuck, and that was very smart.
What to do?
If there was any holiday that was COVID safe, it's Halloween.
As long as the party is outside and there's a bonfire.
Well, I know a place.
I'm just saying, like, as long as the weather's not bad, you can have an outdoor party and boom,
gathering.
You can
and
socially distance.
Have to wear a costume with a mask.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah. Well, people will get creative. They'll cut a hole somehow.
Yeah.
Did you see the people that had like the mask that they like flipped up when they ate, so it like did this and
yes,
it's like
there was 2 cut.
Yeah,
and it was.
I have not seen that.
It was like attached to their like finger, so when they lifted, it was weird.
People got creative.
Yeah,
real creative.
And it was also freaky. It was scary. It looked like weird monsters that were like
a jaw.
Yeah, unhinged jaws.
Unhinged.
Yikes.
Speaking of unhinged and 90s and all that stuff, the last Blockbuster. Yeah. I was gonna go with you would get unhinged when they didn't have the VHS or the DVD of the movie that you wanted to see.
That was a little bit of a stretch, but I'll give it to you.
I didn't know which way you were going.
I didn't either.
A couple things in the 90s range.
90s, yeah.
Yeah.
The dream of the 90s is alive in Oregon.
In Bend, Oregon, which I've always been interested in. Like, if I would like to move to the Pacific Northwest. Portland's like a little too expensive, but I could move to Bend, I think.
Doesn't it rain there a lot?
Yeah, that's the only thing. Like, I need sunshine. I like rain here and there, but I don't know if I could handle rain all the time.
Well, I mean, we've had it here earlier in the year. You had a preview of what it would be like to live there, and it's depressing.
That's true.
I'm about to get off topic for a second, but I had a thought with somebody. They're like, if you had to choose between having rain for the rest of the year and then you knew COVID would be over, like turn of the year, would you choose it to right now have rain every day, not see the sun until January 1, 2021? Would you do it?
Yeah.
What's the
COVID's done and everything's back to normal?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. Chuck, why are you even thinking about it?
What do you mean?
As an introvert, I haven't necessarily hated the fact that
I will say there are a lot of.
I can be like, oh no, I can't go anywhere with the COVID, and I can just stay at home, and nobody thinks any less of me.
I have to agree. Like, COVID is bad. I don't like to see people suffering or dying or businesses.
No, it's terrible.
Shutting. However, there are some things that have happened during COVID or because of COVID that I'm not upset about. Less traffic. Don't have to talk to people as much because you got masks on. Things not being as crowded and not feeling bad if I don't go to an outing.
And I can
'Cause I
still go
remember.
to a brewery and be outside. Went to Two Scoops Creamery last night in
Hey.
love that place. It was
On Central or
on Central. Yeah.
that place was banging the other night. We drove by and it was like so crowded.
It looks a lot more crowded than it actually is because you can't go inside.
Okay.
So the line that looks like it's out the door is actually just an outside line that's probably no
Okay.
worse than when you're there. But like you go up to the door and they take your order and
Yeah.
it's all contactless, and it was great because we have this long tradition on the first day of school of getting ice cream, and it was my nephew's first day of first grade.
Aw.
So I
What
went and got
kind
the
of ice cream did you get?
I got the Yabba Dabba Doo. It's the
What's in
vanilla
that?
with Fruity Pebbles in it.
Shout out to Two Scoops though. They sponsored my race car a couple weeks ago.
Did they?
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Two Scoops was on it. Hoppin' was on it, and Moira's Eatery. It's all one family.
Okay.
So they all moved down from Pennsylvania. So they all jumped on
That's
it.
cool.
So that's cool.
My brother-in-law works right around the corner, and when we went last night, like, "Hey, Justin, what's up?" Like, and my sister looked at me and was like, "I get the alerts every time he buys something here." Like,
Yeah.
he loves ice cream. He's leaned into the dad bod and the
Ice
all
cream
that
is
stuff.
delicious.
Yeah,
Accept it.
but
Place to be.
there was a thing to that.
There's a point to that.
Oh, you can still go out and like I can still go do the things that I want to do and like maintain the distance, like, and it's better when I'm doing those things because like I'm not at a crowded brewery because they have to space things out, so I get to enjoy my solitude and my beer, and I like
Yeah.
that. I like going out to a bar and being by myself at the bar sometimes
I agree with that.
because you're alone, but you're also around people, so it's not lonely. That's the mental gymnastics that I play with it.
Oh my goodness.
But you could go stay in an Airbnb in a Blockbuster in Bend, Oregon. You could do that.
No, you can't. Only if you're. A
I
resident
know.
in Denver.
Only if you live there. So become a
Wait,
I
resident.
thought it was kind of.
Like,
Yeah, I'm with you. Go ahead.
go ahead.
No, I think we were going to say the same thing. Like it's like not. Like what? I get it, kind of, but eventually, don't you want people to come
Yeah.
to do it?
But-
Like I would do it. That's a reason to go to Oregon just to do that. That'd be super fun.
Well, I bet they're probably floating it out right now to see what type of response they would get from the people in Bend, Oregon, and then when everything, the pandemic, Corona, Pandora, boom, the box you open, you can go, stay, and watch all the DVDs that you want to watch. Yeah. That was the point that I was going to go with, and I completely failed.
You imagine if they would have thought of that before, though? Like, if they would have had that thought instead of just like, everything going away, they're like, oh, let's pivot. Like, people would have been doing this the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, that wouldn't be new.
It gives you the best cover to try out new things. It's like, oh, we've been thinking about this for a while, but what if, now we can do it? Like, let's race during the middle of the week, or let's try a road course at Daytona.
Are you okay, Kim? What are you?
Well, the UPS guy just pulled up, and I'm wondering if the dog's gonna go crazy. He's got like his stick he's chewing on. We're about to find out.
We'll find out together as a team.
I see him walking.
Collective group.
I do have my phone on silent, so he won't be able to hear the ring chime. He's like, again, like dogs and sounds. Like you can train them with sounds. Like I have the Ring app, so like when the Ring off app goes off because somebody's at the front door, like he knows immediately, so he goes to the front door.
Oh,
Wait for it.
I hear a little bit of a whistle.
Got him.
There it is.
But he was more tame because he's got a stick he's chewing on. So
Yeah,
anyway,
okay.
Good deal. Well, it is about that. Huh? Dover. Yeah, we're doing the double. We're doing the double this weekend at Dover.
We're doing a double at Dover.
I don't even know if that's a proper Delaware accent.
I don't think so.
What is a Delaware accent?
I was trying to do. I don't even know what Delawareans sound like. I was just
Delawareans? Delawareans?
What is somebody from Delaware called? A Delawarean?
Delawarers?
Delawares?
What to Delaware?
I think it's Delawareans.
Dovarians. People from Delaware call.
I got nothing.
Well, we're probably going to get mean tweets from all of the Dover staff that
Dover.
listen to the show. that did enjoy our shout out last week. That we shouted out their tweets like, yeah.
It was a great tweet.
It was. Dover's pretty good with their social medias.
They are.
I like Dover. Dover's fun.
This weekend is going to be interesting, though.
It's a lot.
Delawareans.
Delaware.
See?
Yeah. It's Delawareans.
I feel like you're the word master of the group, so I'm not.
The word ninja.
Oh, shoot.
What?
What's going on? Oh, okay, sorry. Something popped up on my screen. I panicked. I didn't know what I was doing. It's not my computer. That's why it says J Bianco on the bottom. I'm freaking out.
I was like, I just thought you were putting up a fun like pseudonym. Like, yes, this is J Bianco.
My Asheville persona.
When in Asheville?
Yeah. When I'm in Asheville, I'm Italian. They call me the Italian Stallion up here, actually.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Still, there's like a whole like animal theme with the mamba and stallions.
Also, Mamba, like, actually, Kobe spoke Italian, didn't he?
He did.
He lived in
played
Italy.
in Italy. He played in
know
Italy.
that.
Yeah. He learned whatever language Luca speaks, and he learned how to talk to Ginobili too. I guess he would already knew. Is Ginobili from Italy?
Yeah,
I don't
like,
remember.
Or Spain,
Yeah.
España.
But yeah.
oh, yeah, it was Spain. Yeah.
Yeah, so he learned how to speak those languages to talk
Amazing.
shit to people. Love that.
I
I
mean,
love it.
that's why he was one of the goats.
Isn't that crazy?
Argentina. He was from
Argentina.
Argentina. Manu
Isn't
Ginobili was
it
from
crazy, though?
Argentina.
That happened at the beginning of this year.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
feels like, it just goes to show you, like, 2020 has been a shit show. B, that feels like that was, like, 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly have not let it sink in yet. The Kobe is not here, and like just not to hear his perspective on life
Yeah.
and stuff, and like how he gets people going and amped up. And I haven't really addressed it yet. I did buy a jersey that night that I saw he passed away. I bought my favorite Kobe Bryant jersey, but I haven't really let it sink in. So.
But we also kind of rolled right into COVID after that. So it's like things where you would normally see him like talking or like places he would be like there's no SBs, like all the places that you would see Kobe. So now it probably will hit harder. Like when all that goes back to normal, you're like, oh yeah, I can't wait to see what Kobe. And then you're like, wait a second.
Well, you had that, then you had the Australian wildfires, and then we had.
I was this year too. Holy.
Ryan Newman at Daytona. Like, I mean, it was just boom, 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 and then. Yeah. So 2020, it's been a year.
And it's an election year, which we're not going to get started on that, but.
Just look, I'm looking at buying some land out in the middle of nowhere.
Stamps to keep the post office in business.
Here's the thing.
My mom works at the post office.
I have, since I was younger, have always thought I would really enjoy being a postal worker, like a mail delivery woman. Like you get exercise, you're outdoors, snail mail, like granted you can get like bills and stuff people hate, but like getting mail is a joyous occasion. I've always thought I would be a good mail carrier and I would very much enjoy it.
Amazon.
There's something there, like Amazon's cool, but like there's something about the mail carriers that just walk around like in the neighborhood and like you're outside and you're like, hey, how's it going? Good to see. Like you build that sort of relationship with your mail carrier.
Your uniform is kind of like safari-esque.
You get to wear shorts.
Yeah.
Like postal uniforms to me are like almost like a safari-esque outfit. And they're like one type of hats that I don't know if in Florida, they always have these hats that look like safari hats that they would wear. Like in the summer.
With the big brim.
Yeah.
And they drive cool vehicles.
Yeah.
Like, that mail Jeep or whatever it is, like I always thought that was cool because like the way the doors and like
yeah.
And it's a right side. It's a right side drive.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, because you got to get to the mailbox, so you got to be able to drive on the correct side of the road, but also be able to reach in and boop, here's your mail. Going on.
You got mail. That's a whole new thing.
It's a great feeling when you get that. Kind of like the great feeling, huh?
Maybe that'll be my next foray. Maybe I'll be a mail carrier.
You can do that. You could do it now. I mean, you could do both. I mean,
I could.
I mean,
I just could deliver during the week.
you just do
But I
more.
guess the mail comes on Saturday too. I have to have somebody cover my shifts on Saturday. And maybe Friday too.
Terry, can you cover my shift? I gotta go to Dover to cover the double. I'll pick up one of your. I'll do a double for you sometime once the season ends. Like I'll be able to pull some for you. It'll be all right.
Do the trophies for Dover, are they identical?
I mean, are they all like monsters?
It should be 2 monsters.
I'm just saying because it's a doubleheader. We've never had a doubleheader at Dover. Did they do anything different?
A double-headed monster.
That's what I'm saying.
2 Mileses.
They should have had like a backup trophy in case the same person wins both. Like Harvick swept the wherever we were, Michigan races.
Yeah.
A double-headed monster in case somebody sweeps the races and they get that on Sunday.
Dude, I had to buy those trophies because we won Dover a couple times when I was at MDM. Those things are not cheap, and the couple ones are bigger. So,
well,
yeah,
I'm putting my money on this week as I hit the sound to end the show. The music is playing. My money on Jimmy Johnson winning the double-headed monster. Going out on a limb.
That limb's gonna break.
oh my gosh. Oi, Jamoy.
They made the change to the paint scheme of the car. He was what? You finished 3rd?
Okay, I'll give you that.
In Daytona.
I want to see Jimmy win, yes.
And Dover is a place that's where he got his last win.
True.
So he still knows how to run well there. I think I'm gonna go out on a limb. Jimmy Johnson gets a Dover win.
You heard it here first. Probably not first. I'm sure a lot of people said that.
And then he goes to Phoenix and wins his 8th title.
It would be really sad, not sad. If Jimmy won the title this year, it would be a walk-off win and an 8th championship would be amazing, but like, it would be also sad.
No, it wouldn't. It'd be the greatest thing ever. I won 8. Peace.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't get much better.
Yeah.
I beat COVID and won 8.
That is how we need to turn around 2020.
Bam.
2021 coming at you.
Boom, flip it. Jimmy Johnson, please, please, please make it happen.
Yeah, I think everyone at this point is like full Jimmy Johnson fan. Full blown. You gotta be.
Yeah, how could you not be?
Yep.
He's a good
Rate and review on iTunes. Like and subscribe. Go to Facebook. We got the group on Facebook. YouTube. Comment. Tell us how much you love us. And yeah.
Thanks for being on, Dylan.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I'll come back anytime. Glassholes, good to see y'all again. Appreciate you.
What's some sauce?
Bye.
Peace.